Ẹ mà ńlẹ́ níbẹ̀ yẹn onílé lóko. Ẹ sì kú dédé àsìkò yìí. Hello everyone, it's Adirunke again. I hope your day is going well. Today I'd like to talk about this metaphor, Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú, and what it means. Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú. Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú. What does Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú mean? Ṣọwọ is not an original word, it's a combination of two words, ṣe and ọwọ. Ṣe and ọwọ, then Kúdúrú. What do they mean, these three words? What do these three words mean? Ṣe is do or make. Can also be other things like negatively affect or something, but that would be an entirely different context. So do or make. Ọwọ is hand. Ọwọ is hand. Kúdúrú is small. Small. To sort of shrink something. Small. I think it's an adjective. But basically, ṣe ọwọ kúdúrú is make hand small. Make hand small. And what it means ultimately is make a fist. Make a fist. Ṣe ọwọ kúdúrú is to make a fist. Many times it's difficult to trace when certain things became a part of the culture. But for this metaphor, it seems to have appeared around the time that cowries were the form of currency, were a major form of currency. Cowrie shell money was a thing, both internally and for imports and exports, you know. So it's not millenniums old, is what I'm trying to say. It's just a couple of centuries old, you know. And when you give somebody some shells or so, and back in the day, when you had a lot of cowrie shells, you would put them in strings, and that made it easier to transport and hold and carry around and not lose, you know. But sometimes you didn't need, I don't know how many, maybe 40 cowrie shells that they would string together. For like small trades, you didn't need more than maybe 3 shells for that or 4 cowrie shells for that, you know. When it came to internal trade, not like the import-export main trades that happened on the shores, but when it came to like, you know, communal trade, you didn't need a whole string for certain things, especially like food and all that. You didn't really need that much to survive, you know. So if you wanted to give somebody money, you would put the shells and give them this way with your palm open, not only so that they will see what you have, but like see how many you have easily. You know, if it's what 3 cowrie shells, they can see that. If it's what 5 cowrie shells, they can see that, you know, when you open your palm. But when you give somebody something this way as opposed to with the open palm, then it may insinuate something else, which is what the metaphor really is here. When you give them like this, then it may insinuate something else. Then it may not be, then there's something about that transaction, you know. So the basic meaning of Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú, and I'll use it in a sentence for you in 1 second. The basic meaning is to give someone money that you'd not like anyone else, or more than a few people who are also in on it themselves, or are beneficiaries themselves, to know about. To give someone money that you'd not like anyone else, or more than a few people who are also in on it, or beneficiaries themselves, to know about. So this is an example sentence. This is an example sentence that has Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú in it. Mo ṣọwọ kúdúrú sí wọn. Mo ṣọwọ kúdúrú sí wọn. That's an example sentence. Mo is I. Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú is made my hand small, folded my hand, made a fist. Sí is to or toward. Wọn is the plural, is a plural pronoun, is them. in the object form. It's them. So it can be one older person or two plus people. Two plus people of any ages, irrespective of their ages. One can be 1 year old, sorry, and the other can be 3 years old, and you might be 45. They're two plus people. And if it's one older person, you would address them as multiple people, as well as more than one person as well. So I'll talk about pronouns soon. It's in the works separately. Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú Sowo is I folded my hand toward them. I folded my hand toward them. I folded my hand toward them. Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú Sowo. Is there anything inherently negative about giving somebody money this way, as opposed to with your hands open, with your hand open like this? Is there anything inherently negative about doing this instead? Giving somebody money this way, with your hand folded, as opposed to making it visible that what you have is 7 calories, or making it clear to all and sundry that what you have is 10 calories, and giving them this way to make is no. There's nothing inherently negative about it or implicating about it. It's just you doing this, but it has like connotations depending on based on how it has been used so far. It has mostly been used in the negative lights. Like, why are you not making it visible and transparent that what you're doing there is buying something that is worth 5 calories and you're giving somebody 5 calories? It's typically used in the context of you giving somebody something. One, it could be that they don't exactly deserve. Two is that might be maybe breaking a law. There are just certain issues around why you may want to keep it secret. So again, the basic meaning is that when you do that, you're giving somebody money that you don't like anyone else or more than a few people to know about. In the negative sense, it insinuates corruption and bribery. Bribery especially. So if you use this statement in the negative sense, when you do that, you're folding your arm. And now we don't use cowrie shells, of course, but back in the day when we would, you're folding your arms to give them the money as opposed to making it visible and transparent for all to see that is worth 5 calories and you're giving them 5 calories. You're not paying for anything. When it's used in the net bribery connotation, then the synonyms are gba owo ẹ̀yìn, gba owo ẹ̀yìn, to collect money, behind the maybe closed doors, or maybe it just suggests that you are doing something at the back, so it's not in the presence of everybody. At the back, maybe behind certain people that should know about it, or that would prefer not to know about it because you're not supposed to be collecting it. That's the negative sense. Riba is, you dig that. This also aligns with corruption. Okay, yeah, bribery and corruption. Keep somebody something somewhere for somebody, or you give something to. I'm trying to talk about the earliest forms now, but what it just connotes is bribery and corruption, basically. Abetele is another thing, underneath. So you're giving somebody something like an under the table deal. It's not on the surface, it's underneath. So these are the negative synonyms for it. It may not always be negative, like I've said. It's context sensitive. Sometimes can be positive. Let's say somebody has a restaurant and they're not really paying their workers well, but their ego would not let their workers take tips. And it's like, a no tip policy. You can't tip our workers. we're too proud and we're too good for you to be tipping workers. And if, I don't know, somehow you're able to have a conversation with maybe your waitress or something, and she's able to express that to you, like, okay, you just asked how much do you get paid here, and she says, oh, it's $8 something, and it's a no tip policy, and then you give her a tip. I suppose it's breaking again, not all laws are good. I don't know, there's one Osho video that always makes me laugh. Something along the lines of it's funny, but it's the facial expression that makes that clip funny. It circulates in YouTube now. Democracy is government for the people, by the people, or something like that, but the people are retarded. It's just funny to me. I don't know, yeah, maybe I agree. Actually, no, let's just skip past that. But yeah, some laws are not good. You have to realize that there was a time when it was lawful and allowed to own people, to enslave people and all that. So the fact that something is a law, is like it's a rule, doesn't necessarily mean that it is great. Certain things can be changed, but anyway, in my opinion, it's a positive. But in that case, you typically, again, it still has that negative thing attached to it. You can, if you want to, if it's not in that kind of context where, oh, it's not allowed, it's breaking a law, but you do it anyway. If it's not in that context and you're really just helping somebody, then you won't really say this. This one, Ṣọwọ Kudurur, suggests that it's not really something you're supposed to be doing. But if helping somebody normally is what you're supposed to be doing, it is, then you would say something along the lines of anawasi, mo nawasi won, ekwa anawasi. You stretch your hand towards somebody. That's another. No, then it would be like ekwa anawasi. You give somebody something, anawasi. I'll probably explain that separately. But Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú, you're holding the coins in such a way that it's not, you're putting it in somebody's hand. Like, okay, please, can you let me pass through here? Like, okay, but the king said nobody can, so no. But like, okay, please, just let me. You know that you're breaking a law, or you know that, or can you let me pass this exam? No, you got an F. That, can you please? That's the negative sense. Then that's the negative. Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú. It's mostly 95% of the time used in the okay, but you're not supposed to be doing that sense. You don't want everybody to see, or you don't want anybody else to see. So that is that. And this is interesting because it is even used in the when we code mix and we code switch like that. I've heard it. No Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú allowed. No don't Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú. So just in case you hear Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú and you're wondering, what does Ṣọwọ Kúdúrú even mean? It just means that somebody somewhere is giving somebody something that they're not really, that they don't really, at its basic level, it's now dependent on the context. Again, it's not inherently negative or positive, but at its basic level, you are giving somebody something that you don't really want other people to know about. But it's not like you're helping them or something without any, you're really not supposed to be giving them, could be, or that can be positive, but really you're not, there's something not transparent about that, which is why it is mostly used in the negative sense. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day, and bye for now.